uh, express yourself and just play according to what your team wants you to do.
It's funny, Gail, as you've seen sort of the game itself progress over the last few years. T20 cricket's become so much more professional. There's so much more attention on that format as well. But the preparation, is it the same going into a test, into an ODI, into a T20? Do you plan versus particular bowlers? What's your sort of your mindset going in? But also, how do you guys plan in, say, team meetings, or you personally with a batting coach going in?
Look, I think in terms of like skill preparation, there's not a lot we do differently. Skill wise, we still try to keep it the same. But in terms of mental preparation, I think it changes from format to format, and also, uh, like you said, where we're playing, who we're playing, and according to that is what the team meetings happen, and then you also as players you sit down and I mean more or less you know who you're playing against and what their strengths are. So now, if I play South Africa, I know what KG's strengths are, or where he's going to try to get me out, and how I need to tackle his good balls. So that's what you think if it's a Test match. But if it's a T20, you think, how do I put the bowler under pressure? Where can I score off him? So these are a little work, like homework, that you do before the game, and you put all these options in your mind before the game, and then when you go onto the middle, and then you just not hope, but I mean, yeah, in a way, hope that your preparations were right and your body will make the right call when the pressures are on you. So that's how we look to train. We also look to train the mind when we are practicing as well. We try to visualize. I mean, say for instance, if I'm in the nets and I'm playing one of the bowlers, I will try to picture him as the opposition bowler and try to tackle him, and just so your body and your mind gets used to being in that position. So yeah, these are a few things I think we do, but again, I've also learned that keeping things as simple as possible, is the best thing to do, and just remain in the present and just go to the ground, and then um, just react to what is thrown at you. That also has worked for me sometimes. But yeah, I mean, it'll always be a process of figuring out what works best for you, and I don't think any player will ever reach that place where he knows exactly what to do. I mean, I think that's the fun of life and fun of sport.
Then finding that Zen spot.
Yeah.
It's funny because you said you want to be able to go out there in the middle and execute your plans, right? But we're a country of 1.2 billion Indians. There's a lot of pressure that is on you as well, and we're not the quietest bunch either when it comes to us as a country. So how do you put all of that aside, Gail? How do you put that noise away? How do you put that interference away and find your zone when you're out in the middle? Because that's something all sportsmen speak of, right? Being in the zone.
Yeah, I think once you're in the ground, I mean, for me at least, when I'm doing my skill, especially like when I'm batting, I put on the helmet and I'm in the middle. After I play like 5 or 6 balls, I think the noise kind of just fades away, and then you look at the scoreboard, you talk to your partner, and your mind starts thinking about what we need to do to win this game for the team, and that becomes the most important thing. And there's hardly, I mean, it's I don't know if this makes sense or it explains anything, but there is silence even when there are 100,000 people screaming at you. There's still a quiet. You can still
I remember talking to Justin Langer, and he was talking about white noise, and you sort of feel this white noise within you.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, like you said, it is a we are a huge country and people do have opinions. I think off the field, certain times it does get to you, because end of the day we are still human beings, and it's not the nicest thing to hear somebody saying bad things about you, or criticizing you. It's never easy, but again, it's part of the job. You learn to I've learned to take it in a positive way. Every time somebody criticizes you, there's something to learn as a person. I mean, nobody has anything against me. So all they're trying to do is try to make sure that I'm more consistent for my team, and maybe that's why they criticize me. And that's how I've started to look at people commenting or criticizing, and I'll look to learn from it, and try to use that energy into training harder, or batting extra and working hard. And when I'm in the middle and when I'm tired, then I try to use this energy to push myself and prove people wrong.
It's funny because everyone sees the final output when you're out in the field. They sort of judge you by your last innings in some sense. But, as you said, social media can be a double-edged sword. You've got the media that can be on your side or be on your back when you have one bad run. I know it affects a player and a player's mindset at times, and it's hard to put away. But how much does it also affect the people in your support system, your family, your sister or your parents and stuff like that? How much does that affect them too?
I think that's they're the people who get affected the most. And as players, when you see that your family is getting hurt, is when you start to react or you start to feel bad, because we as players or we as people have learned, like you said, that it's white noise. It doesn't affect anything. I mean, the people talking they're not the people working for us, or they're not the people paying us. They're not the people who are doing the work for us. What I do is what, at the end of the day, I will get what I deserve. So you kind of learn to shut that noise off, but sometimes it's hard on the family, and we expect that, and to a large, they do understand too, but I guess it affects them more than it affects us, and then in a way it just affects us after a while. So just there's nothing. I don't think